the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life, because the Mets are really socking the ball, knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York town. Oh, the butcher and the
What's up, Mets fans? Welcome back to another Mets Postgame Show right here on the channel. Make sure you hit on that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed already. The New York Mets lose 4-1 against the Washington Nationals on this Saturday night game, March 15th, as we've seen the opening day starter Clay Holmes pitch today. And there's a little bit of a crack in the armor of Clay Holmes. Finally gave up some runs in spring training. We'll get into that. We'll get into Max Kranick. We'll get into Minter. We'll get into Jose Urena. And we'll get into the lineup and the game as an overall game. And we're also going into a little bit more conversation about what we're going to be looking forward to for spring training and opening day. All right, guys. So here we go, guys. The New York Mets had a full game out of Brandon Nimmo. Nice to see, even though it is a DH. He's playing. Good to see. Like to see that. Got to keep him going and make sure he remains healthy. We had Soto in the lineup. We had Alonso in the lineup. We had Winker in the lineup. Winker went 1 for 3. Alonso went Soto. And Nimmo had some offers. Acuna got a nice sharp hit, line drive base hit, but went 1 for 4. Other than that, it's more about the pitching that we wanted to look at in Clay Holmes. 4 1/3, 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. He was very efficient with his pitching, but didn't really seem like he had a lot today. You could see he was a little bit off. And again, you're not going to kill the guy. Just got named the opening day starter and, setting himself up for that. He didn't look, like he did the rest of the games in spring training. So I'm not going to go crazy. He's pitched well all spring training. I'd rather him give up runs in spring training than on opening day and in the regular season. But we've seen a little crack in the armor of Clay Holmes, but it's all right. No big deal. No big deal. No big deal. Max Kranick is another one who was basically outstanding this whole spring, gave up a couple of runs, a hit, in and in the third, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. I think Max Kranick is going to make this team. I'm not sure if it's going to be in the rotation or excuse me, or the bullpen, but I feel like he's going to make this team as my cat decides to destroy things. Sorry, guys. He's like playing with his toy and like scratching the hell out of me. Sorry about that. There you go, Marcus. And you got AJ Minter in another outing, 1 inning, 1 hit. Looked pretty good. Gave up the hit, but you see that the velocity is there, which is nice to see from AJ Minter with a couple of outings so far. And you got Jose Urena, who struggled out of the gate, but 1 inning, 3 strikeouts, 1, 2, 3, 3 up, 3 down, 3 strikeouts. Nice to see that from Jose Urena. He's the wild card here. I wonder if Jose Urena is going to make this team. Obviously, he is definitely a guy that can be a multiple inning guy. He can be a starter, could be a bullpen arm. I think the Mets are probably going to look him more in the bullpen arm, obviously, because they haven't really stretched him out. They usually gave him 1 inning or so, but he looks good. I think Jose Urena is a wild card when it comes to the bullpen. And River, I do agree with you. I think Kranick has earned it, just like Clay Holmes has earned the opening day start. Luis Acuna has to be the starting second baseman. No, he doesn't. Sorry, you do have to actually perform in spring training and not just go off for 14 games of last year. Even though he was damn good, you also have to earn it. And at the moment, even when Jeff McNeil was healthy, Brett Batty had the nod at the last bench spot over Luis Angel Acuna. And we keep on trying to rush Luis Angel Acuna when we really don't have to. And just because we've seen 14 games of very good, solid baseball from Luis Angel Acuna, if the Mets thought that he can be the second baseman on opening day, they would have done it. They would have found a way to either get rid of Jeff McNeil or say, Jeff, it's not your job anymore. Yet they're willing to give a chance to Brett Batty, who's been outstanding this spring, and giving him the opportunity with the Jeff McNeil injury. And when Jeff McNeil got hurt, the second base job was up for grabs. Luis Angel Acuna could have been, trying to take the job from Brett Batty, but he hasn't played well enough. I'm sorry. Spring training, yes, the numbers seem to not matter overall, but what they do matter is when you're fighting for a position, especially when it's not a veteran over a young kid, but it's young kid over a young kid. Guess what? You got to perform in spring training. You got to prove that you can, prove something to the organization. And again, we saw the Mets tell you with the Clay Holmes opening day start that Clay Holmes hasn't been a starter since Pittsburgh 7 years ago, right? So there's nothing to go after, go about last year except for reliever stats, right? So with Clay Holmes, what he did in spring training earned him the start on opening day as St. John's wins the Big East tournament. So they're the Big East tournament champions. I'm watching the St. John's game right now against Creighton. So they get the automatic bid, even though they were going to be in the tournament anyway. Sorry, guys. I'm just watching the game. So St. John's at MSG, the first time 25 years. The Big East tournament is with the Red Storm. There you go, guys. So if you're a St. John alum, congratulations. I wasn't, but again, New York's team, right? They are, they play in the Mecca. So that is awesome. It wasn't looking good early, but they dominated the second half, 82-66 to the Johnnies. And now, 2000 was the last time, 25 years, the Big East tournament they won. Jeez. All right, guys. So sorry about that. Well, Ken, I'm talking about what people are talking about in the chat, right? That's what this is all about, right? People are talking about Acuna, so we're going to bring him up. And he played today, so he's going to be a topic of conversation. Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think Luis Angel Acuna is going to be the second baseman, probably not too far away in the future, to be quite honest with you. Like I said this yesterday, that I don't believe Brett Batty is going to do good enough to hold the job. I think he's going to be better than what he was when we last seen him as a third baseman, and probably a little bit better offensively, but I don't think it's enough to actually keep the job. And I don't know if that's more towards Acuna playing well in the minors or Brett Batty just not playing well in the majors. So yeah, it might be April 3rd, right? It might be before opening day at Citi Field. So look, at this point, it's clear that the Mets are giving one last opportunity to Brett Batty. Again, it feels like Brett Batty's been in for like 6 years, right? He's been in for what, 3? And he's 25 years old. So it's his last opportunity. And he's going to have a short leash. He's going to have a short leash, 100%. Going to have a short leash. Ken, why is Soto playing every game? Because that's what Soto does. All right? That's what he does. Like, if Soto says he needs at bats or he wants to play, he'll play. And what are you going to do? Sit him for the next week and a half so we can be absolutely cold for opening day? I mean, look, Soto's a bulldog. I'm not too worried about it. And they took him out in the 4th inning, right? 5th inning. So it's not like he played a full game. He played 5 innings. If you can't play 5 innings and you're a professional ball player, then maybe you shouldn't be playing at all, right? So when will Mauricio play? I don't think we'll see him this spring. If we do, it'll probably very late in spring. He's probably just going to start playing. They're going to take it very slow at Ronnie Mauricio. he's going to probably go right to the minors when they start their season and just start playing now. Well, Ken, maybe they want to play. I don't know. I'm not in the room listening to Mendoza and the players talk, right? If Lindor wants to play, Lindor didn't play today, right? He's off, right? I don't know. I don't have an answer for you, right? I want to keep these guys healthy, but these guys also got to get at bats as well. You could play them every other day. I agree with you, but if the player comes in and says, "Listen, I want to get my reps," then you're gonna give him your reps. Yeah, Ken. You haven't noticed? Sports in general now, the the Indians run the roost. It's a fact. That's how it goes nowadays in professional sports. It just is what it is. I don't know what else to say about that. To be quite honest with you, it's true, right? The inmates run the asylum, so that's what we have to deal with, and we know this already, right? We see it predominantly in basketball, where the players run the show and run basically the NBA, right? Whatever they want, they get. Baseball is kind of almost similar. It used to be, you play hurt. If you're injured, you don't play, but you play hurt. Nowadays, you don't play hurt anymore. Maybe it's because of the higher contracts, the bigger money, the high priced players that they're a little cautious with. I don't know. I can't tell you. But if a player goes up to Mendoza and says, "I want my reps," what are you gonna say? No, in spring training, they played 5 innings. So I'm not, Brandon Nimmo played a full 9. I need to see Brandon Nimmo play back-to-back games and play 9 innings. I don't want him on an open day roster if he can't play back-to-back or play 4 innings. What is that? How is that helping us? All you're doing is using your bench earlier than you want to, even though you're not worried too much about, emptying your bench when you have the DH now. But that, I want to see Nimmo play 9 innings. He did today. I want him to see play back-to-back games. That's important. Right? I don't trust Nimmo staying healthy. I'm sorry. Nimmo doesn't help us when he's not in the lineup. So, Nimmo worries me a lot. a lot. Let's see. DeGrom, he gets a boo-boo his back. He won't pitch. Yeah. Well, I don't care about DeGrom anymore. Stanley Batty will be traded. Yeah, but probably for nothing if he sucks. We just think that we're going to get a bag of balls for Brett Batty if he's not playing, if he doesn't play well in this opportunity at second base, and then you're going to throw him in the minors and he's going to lose all value. And on top of that, if Brett Batty actually performs with the bat and plays a serviceable second base, you're not going to trade him because he's helping you win. So it's kind of, the Mets are between a rock and a hard place, one in a bad way and one in a good way, where if Brett Batty actually hits, he's going to help your team. So you're not trading him. And I said this yesterday and I'll say it again. If Brett Batty hits and he's doing his job, nobody's going to talk about Luis Acuna. And if Brett Batty looks good at second base and maybe a little bit above average, he's going to hold on to the position. It's just that simple. Ken, I'm going to say a hard place. Ken, I knew you were going to come back with a question. I felt it. Batty would be a star in Japan. You should really think about it. Well, he might be in a year. Look, I'm not saying that Brett Batty is going to be good, or the Mets are clearly trying to get something out of Brett Batty. And why not? When you're a top prospect, and Brett Batty was a top prospect not too long ago, you're going to give every opportunity until there's no more chances. And it seemingly looks like that Brett Batty's last chance is right now. Because he already got knocked out at third base because of Mark Vientos. They're putting him at second base because they're still trying. They still believe that the bat could actually be something in the major leagues. Again, I don't believe that. Most of us don't believe that. But clearly the Mets do. Clearly they think it's the mindset once he gets to the pro, once he gets to Major League, once he gets to the major leagues. For some reason, something doesn't click with him. Again, it's amazing to me. I don't think it's just minor league pitching that he hits, to be quite honest with you. I think it's a different mindset. I think he gets less nervous. I think he doesn't think too much at the plate. I think he just sees the ball, hit the ball in the minors. I truly believe that. And I think that happens to a lot of prospects. I think they make the moment get too big and they falter. Well, Ken, I don't know if it's hatred. Like, I mean, maybe some do hate him. I mean, clearly yesterday it seemed like there was a couple of people who really did hate him. But I don't think it's hate. I think it's when your parents say, I'm not mad, but I'm disappointed, and you're like, ooh, that hurts more. It's more like disappointment with Brett Batty, not anger or hatred. It's like disappointing, like Brett Batty, I'm disappointed in you. I thought he was going to be, I'm not going to say a great player, but I think he was going to be a solid player. He has the swing. He has the build. He looks like a hitter. It's just that he can't, for some reason, when he gets to the majors, he forgets how to lift the ball. He basically peppers the ball to second base, and it's so annoying. It's very annoying because you could see the talent and the potential, but it just doesn't happen at the major league level up until this point. Look, we all hope, and there shouldn't be one person, regardless if you like Brett Batty or not, you should definitely be rooting for Brett Batty if he's the opening day second baseman. You shouldn't be waiting for his demise so Luisangel Acuna can come at the second base, because I can guarantee you this. If Luisangel Acuna is playing second base on opening day and he's 1 for 15 and not looking good at all, I don't hear anybody saying he should be sent back to the minors and get rid of him. Right? People won't say that. Right? They'll come up with every excuse under the book for the reason why. But Brett Batty, he goes 0 for 10. That's it. Because there is a history with Brett Batty. You know, Ken, I saw that today about getting Cease. You know, I swear to God, I would not put it past David Stearns. Because I'm going to be honest with you guys. I still don't like this rotation. I don't trust it. I'm sorry. Right? Clay Holmes looks good in spring training. But can we see him with a full actual MLB lineup he's facing and get through a second, third time through the order? Because that's what he needs to do. Can he do that? We don't know that yet. You know, when he gets to the second, third time in the order, when he did it, you know, maybe twice in spring training, the minor leaguers are already in the game. So I don't want to, I'm not trying to throw negativity here. I just don't trust it. I just don't trust the rotation. I'm sorry. I don't care if Sean Manaea was healthy. I don't care if Frankie Montas. I don't care if the rotation was 100% healthy. I still don't trust this rotation. And maybe the offense will hide some of the glaring issues with the rotation. But that doesn't stop the fact that when you need the pitching, is it going to be there? Right? I don't want to overuse a bullpen that should be very good because the starter rotation, 1, can't go deep. 2, probably isn't that good. Why hurt the bullpen and overuse them so early, which I think they're going to do, because Senga ain't going to go deep into games for a while. Even when Manaea comes back, they're going to take care. They're going to, not try to overuse him and try to take care of him and keep him healthy. David Peterson is probably the one guy they might stretch out a little bit, but everybody else, I think they're going to be very close. And I know they said, Clay Holmes doesn't really have an innings limit. Yes, he does. The guy hasn't thrown more than 90 innings basically in his career. And you think you're just going to throw him out there and just let him run rampant? And you think when he gets to 120 to 130 innings and it's the late August into September, and you need him to go that 7 to 8 innings, is he going to have enough gas? And even if he has enough gas, is he going to be productive? Like, that's the other issue as well. So I just don't understand why more people aren't talking about the rotation. Like, it's like nobody cared. Like, I'm not saying Met fans don't care, but it's a glaring issue. I'm sorry. We're probably not going to have Manaea for a month. That's issue number 1. Issue number 2, the guy who can actually give you a lot of innings and you're not worrying about innings would have been Frankie Montas. He might not have pitched great, but he would have gave you innings. He would have saved your bullpen. Now you're throwing a possibility of a Tyler McGill or Max Kranick, guys that probably can't go deep into ball games. And then you got Paul Blackburn, that's kind of an innings guy, but might not be as well. He's a 5-inning pitcher. So it's tough to not worry about that, because even if even though I think Clay Holmes will be fine, I think they're going to take it slow with him. I don't think they're going to, throw him out of the gate here. I think on opening day, he'll probably go 4 innings, maybe 5 if you're lucky. Like, I think the Mets are going to trust their bullpen enough because they think it's very good. But when you go to the well too many times, guess what? At some point, there ain't going to be enough water in there. And that's probably a silly analogy, but it's kind of makes sense because of the fact that we just don't know. And wins really don't matter anymore in baseball because half of these guys don't go past the 5th inning. So your bullpen basically salvages the win for the starter. So it's not like the wins really matter. I care about the stat line and how many innings you throw as a starting pitcher. That's all I care about. Wins don't matter anymore. It's cool to look at the end of the year, but it really doesn't matter. What matters now is ERA and the stat line. How many strikeouts, how many walks, how many runs, so no, Stanley, and I don't think they should rush Brandon Sproat, but I'm going to tell you this right now. If the Mets starting rotation is not pitching well or not going, is not what I guess the Mets expect, if Brandon Sproat is pitching well in the month of April, I would not be surprised if the Mets bring him up in the first part of May and get him going, to be quite honest with you. Let's see. The scariest pitcher on this staff is not Clay Holmes. It's Kodai Senga. Yeah, I don't believe that one bit. I don't. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't read the whole comment. So, Marcus, I'm not calling Kodai Senga fragile at all. He had a 2023 really good season, and he made his starts, right? And he wasn't healthy last year, right? It wasn't pitching injuries. It was more of, a little bit of a couple of freak injuries that kept him out the majority of the year. So I'm not going to call him fragile. That's not fair to him. He's been in the league 2 years. He was injured for 1 and made a full and made his full amount of starts in a season. So I'm not going to call him fragile. But I'm not also confident in Kodai Senga, right? I still don't believe that a guy that needs 5 days off and can pitch on a 6th day, possibly a 7th day, and expect me to believe that when you need him the most, is he going to be there, or is he going to say, I can't go? Or is he going to go thinking that he's not necessarily 100% because he needs that extra day, but the Mets need him to go? Can he actually perform and pitch well during that? Like, that's the issue that I have. That is the biggest issue that I have. Do I think he can stay healthy? I think so, because it wasn't his arm that was the issue, which I'm not worried about because it wasn't his arm. He seems to be healthy. The Mets are clearly taking it slow with him, but that's my main issue. How long are you going to take it slow with him? Because here I go again. He hasn't pitched a lot since 2023. So when he gets to the 120, 130 inning mark, is he going to run out of gas? Like, that is the issue that I keep on talking about. Well, Joel, you're not going to forget him in the playoffs, but, are you going to see him twice in the NLDS, right? We've seen Sean Manaea do it, right? Can we actually get Kodai Senga to pitch game 1 and 5 of the DS? He'll definitely have 2 starts in the NLCS just based on days off. But sometimes you see your ace go 3 times in the NLCS. He's definitely not doing that. So, and, I'm hoping I think Kodai Senga is going to be good. But I don't like the fact, and these people are doing karaoke every weekend. They do a karaoke in my apartment complex that I'm living in the lounge area or the big area where everybody gathers and stuff like that. It's very annoying. It annoys me. Like it's warm out, so I have the windows open and I don't want to close it because it's not hot enough to put the AC on. So I got the fan going and the windows open and they're singing terribly. It's annoying. Can you sing for us? No, never. Maybe with my new pre-game song and my new post-game song, which I think I'm gonna maybe make you listen to it a little bit, but maybe not. Maybe I just want to hold it for opening day, just to keep it going. Oh no, well I'm not in New York, D. I'm in North Carolina. It's like 65 here right now. But it's 40 in New York. Well, sorry for you. Rob Rapper about the Mets. Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I just sent this a song to Chris for the pregame show song, and I must have made like 7 different songs. Couple of rock ones, couple of rap rock combined songs, and the one that we finally decided on, which I actually put together today, and I was at work during my lunch break and I was putting it together, and I was like, oh, this sounds pretty good. So I'm like, let me send it to Chris. And he's like, oh, I like it too. So I'm like, perfect. So, I kept on playing it at work and I'm like, it's not bad. I can't play some sticks, Ken, because then I get demonetized, unfortunately. Put some Wu-Tang. But I think everybody's going to be happy. There's going to be one rap song and one rock song. One for the pregame, one for the postgame. Not going to tell you which one's which, but it's the best of both worlds for everybody who likes a certain genre of music. So we'll get into that for sure. Let's see. Let me just check the comments, guys. Marcus, I'm not going to participate in this karaoke, right? Maybe when I'm in Houston throwing down the beers, I'll get into some karaoke in Houston because I get there on Wednesday. I'm definitely going to hit up Grant's probably multiple bars that he has in Houston and, throw back a few beers. And I already spoke to Grant talking about the shows at his bar. So we're going to get into that when we get closer and closer to Houston. God, they sing terribly. I mean, I'm not saying I sing good at all, but oof, it's bad. Ken, there's a lot of people that like rap, all right? I know you don't, but there's enough. But I think it sounds pretty good. Like you can hear all the words, right? The beat's really good, and I wanted something that got us going. Like for the pregame. Obviously, the pregame's always fun because you don't know if you win or lose yet. So the anticipation. I wanted the song that has anticipation, that has a little. Oh, okay, all right. We got a pregame going here. We're ready to go, and that's what I try to do here. And I don't. Wow. So Fox went to a basketball game to gymnastics. Okay. All right. Well. So, and then the other one is a rock song that is pretty cool as well. The beat's really good. Got a little guitar, couple of drums. It's pretty good. So you'll definitely hear it. We all sing well in the shower. I agree. All right, guys. So when it comes to everybody, it's going to be just a half-hour show because there ain't really much to talk about. By the way, tomorrow, guys, is the spring breakout game. It's when the prospects for the Mets play against another team's top prospects. So tomorrow, and let me just double check just to be sure. I think the spring break. Hold on one second. Let me just double check. MLB spring breakout game. Let me just double check. I think it's at night. No, the Mets are tomorrow. Where do they see it? Come on. Oh, here we go. March 16th, 5:05. It's at West Palm Beach in the Nationals spring training facility. So tomorrow, which is the 16th, 5:05 p.m., the Mets spring breakout top prospects against the Nationals top prospects tomorrow at 5:05. So there's a game at 1 o'clock that Tyler McGill is pitching. That is obviously the spring training. So you're probably going to see a lot of our opening day starters in the lineup tomorrow. Only because most of the guys like Acuna probably, maybe Acuna, and you'll see all of our other top prospects, probably Carson Bench, Ryan Clifford. You probably see Spro and Tidwell and guys like that. So make sure you tune into that. I'm assuming it's on TV. I'm not going to say yes or no. Let me just double check. I just want to be very sure about that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so the spring, I don't know if they don't really show it. Let me just see. Mets spring breakout. I don't know if anybody sees if it's on TV or not. I'm assuming it's going to be on either SNY or MLB Network. But I just want to make sure, because they don't really say on the MLB app at all, of course. Why would they? Let's see. I just want to see what they say on the app. Give me a second, guys. So it is on SNY, guys. Yep, thank you, Red. I just wanted to double check so I don't say it wrong. So you guys would be looking all over the place. Yeah, so it's 5 o'clock tomorrow, the spring breakout game. The best thing MLB has done in a long time is showcasing our prospects in games while you can watch it, while you have all your top prospects in a game, pitchers, position players against other top prospects. That's awesome. That is the best thing MLB and Manfred has come up with since he's been the commissioner. Awesome job by him with that only. So tomorrow, 5 p.m., spring breakout game, Mets Nationals, West Palm Beach. Mets top prospects against the Nationals top prospects. Tomorrow, the Mets play Houston? Right? They play Houston? Yes, they play Houston tomorrow. Sorry, guys. Houston at 1 o'clock. Tyler McGill is on the mound for the New York Mets. Again, this is probably his last chance of showcasing himself to see if he can make the opening day roster. So with that said, guys, couple of things here. Brandon Nimmo played a full game. Nice to see. Soto, Alonso 0 for 3. Nimmo 0 for 3. Alonso 0 for 3. Guys, they sing terribly. My God, if you heard these guys. Winker went 1 for 3. Acuna went 1 for 4. Clay Holmes finally gave up some runs in spring training. 4 in the third. 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. Max Kranick finally gave up some runs. In the third, 2 runs, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. AJ Minter, 1 hit, 1 inning. And Jose Urena looked sharp today. 3 strikeouts, 1 inning. Mets lose 4-1 tomorrow. Once again, guys, spring breakout game. Mets top prospects, Nationals top prospects. 5 o'clock on SNY. And tomorrow at 1 o'clock, the Mets play their spring training game. Tyler McGill on the mound. With that said, guys, everybody have a great night. Thank you for watching the Mets Postgame Show right here on the channel. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed. I might go live tomorrow if I'm not out and about. I might not even be able to watch the game. But if I'm home tomorrow, I might just watch the game and maybe do a live during the game. Throw up MLB the game day, and we'll watch the game. If not, I'll probably do a post-game after that. Or pregame and a postgame, depending on if I'm home. Because it is a Sunday, so who knows? I might have to do stuff. Who knows? But with that said, guys, thank you for tuning into the show. Have a good night, guys. Let's go Mets, and I'll see you next time on the channel, guys. Have a good night, guys.
Oh, the butcher and the baker and the people on the streets, where do they go? To meet the Mets! Oh, they're hollering and cheering and they're jumping in their seats. Where do they go?